Hello there.
Hi
Hello.
there.
Is the
Can
sound?
you hear me?
Can
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. So we are finally with the big boss Hajime today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Yesterday,
Yeah.
I was talking to you. I sat in my car and it was so hot outside. So I
Okay.
put the cooler down, really cold.
Uh-huh.
And I drove back home and I came home and it's 30 degrees in Sweden. It's hot.
Okay.
I went out,
Mhm.
hey, my son, hey, daddy. And I turned around and my back, but
Oh.
today my back is,
Okay. So your back is haunting today.
yeah, really much. I'm
Okay.
getting old.
Okay. So today the recording is already, started. So, the main purpose of this, conversation between us is to, let Japanese people know about you. All right. So basically, we are going to ask you some simple questions. Like I've read your book like halfway through, so I know what was the first trigger for you to dive deeply into the vintage world and etc. etc. I know that, but for our Japanese fans, I like you to speak your words to let every
How
Japanese
it all began.
yeah. So, okay. So the first question to you is that, so you first got interested in the, jeans and vintage clothing when you were a university student, right?
Yes.
Yes. So could you tell me what was the, first trigger for you to, love blue jeans, love this vintage world and etc.?
Well, I will explain it for you, but the short version is laziness. I think
Laziness.
all people,
Okay.
yeah, I think all people in the bottom are kind of lazy.
Yeah.
I'm not lazy, but I think that's what's the thing, because as you told me, Rio, it started during my university time, and I had so many books, so much literature to read for the university studies.
Yeah.
And all of those books, they were like text, no pictures, just heavy text, kind of complicated stuff.
What was your major
My room,
at university?
well,
Literature.
human resources and rhetoric. I have two degrees.
Okay. Sounds intelligent.
Well, we'll
Sorry.
see about that. Well, anyways, during that time, I shared an apartment with an old friend of mine. We actually went to school together in our hometown. But he wasn't studying. He was working in a denim store in this city.
Okay.
And his biggest kind of idol was his brother, still his brother. And at that time, he was head of design for Lee in Europe,
Okay.
the brand Lee.
Uh-huh.
So he was talking about his brother a lot, and of course he was talking about Lee a lot. But at that time, I didn't know so much about vintage denim. I was a guy who were old musician wearing cord pants. I didn't even had a pair of jeans.
Okay.
So just to wrap this up, he had a lot of magazines, like Japanese magazines.
Oh, Japanese magazines. Okay.
Yeah, like Free and Easy, Lightning magazine. So it was really easy for me to take those magazines just to escape my study time. I was so tired of studying. And I took those Free and Easy and Lightning magazines and, it's pictures. But I can't understand shit because everything in Japanese. So it was really good. I could look at those pictures and the time flies. So I asked my friend, okay, so those vintage jeans here, if I want to buy anything, how would I do? Should I go to the local thrift store here in Sweden? And he just laughed at me. No. This is a special vintage that you can't find it in Sweden. Okay. So how should I do? This was like 15 years ago. Well, I think you should go on eBay.
Okay.
eBay. I didn't know what eBay was. What's eBay? I don't know what's eBay. And he explained to me the eBay how it works. And for me, I'm grown with the two parents and a sister, and my mother, she has always worked in a bank.
Bank.
As a personal advisor. So I'm kind of schooled that money-wise, you keep your money, and when you buy something, you get the item and then you pay. But on eBay, it's the opposite. You pay first,
right.
and then you get the money. And I was like, oh no, I can't do that. Because my friend told me, yeah, you should buy, you need to pay. Okay. So I had some friends, actually, Douglas and Hampus. Douglas is now running Second Sunrise.
Okay.
This was 15 years ago, and they had an eBay account. So I asked Douglas and his brother, well, could I borrow your account and you pay and I pay you guys? And they was like, okay. So that was my escape. So it started, actually, I wasn't supposed to be a collector. It wasn't my goal because I was a student and didn't know so much about vintage denim at all. But I thought, because of my friend was talking much about Lee, he was also talking about Buddy Lee, the dogs. Buddy Lee. And I was thinking, maybe I could get one Buddy Lee to have on my desk when I'm studying. It's nice to have this dog. So I went up on eBay and I bid, and I won this Buddy Lee. And it came to home, and I put it on my desk. And when I was studying, I was looking at this Buddy Lee, and nice. And some kind of, when you're studying at the university, you are like kind of thought, you kind of learn to ask questions about everything, seek information. That's kind of the bottom when you're studying. So for me, it was like, yeah, exactly. So I was like thinking about this Buddy Lee. I wonder if there are more Buddy Lees. So I get out on eBay and I say, there's much more. No, okay. Because as a student back then, you didn't get so much money. Really, you could pay your rent and you can pay for food. That's about it. Then in the end of the month, the money was right.
Do you remember?
So when I bought this Buddy Lee,
do you remember how much? Do you remember how much Buddy Lee costed when you were a student, like 15 years ago?
I think I paid like almost $400.
Wow, that's a lot for a student.
But the thing is, the currency was much higher back then.
Okay.
So if you translate that for today, I would say it's like $700 today.
That's
because of the currency.
Yeah.
So that was kind of 80% of my monthly income.
Oh my God! For just a Buddy Lee dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of ate. I remember this month I ate just spaghetti with ketchup. Okay. But anyway, then I wasn't supposed to buy anything. I was just checking out, browsing the market. But then I saw a similar Buddy Lee, and the price were, in my opinion, the price were so low. And I felt like I bought this Buddy Lee and I'm suffering here. I'm eating spaghetti with ketchup. Damn. So this guy who's buying this, he needs to suffer too. So I was angry, So when the auction almost ended, I think it's still too cheap. It's still too cheap. So I just put a bid on it, to rise the value.
Yeah.
So this guy, he needs to suffer too.
Okay.
And I was like, it's still too cheap. It's still too cheap. So like 1 minute before the auction ended, I put a really high bid because, you gotta buy this expensive now.
Okay.
And I won it. I won it. So the next month I ate spaghetti without ketchup.
Okay. That's a really good like punchline. Like Japanese people would love that story. Maybe just a
So,
short.
one second. It's actually, so then I had 2 Baddelys. So then what the heck? So I started to buy some Baddelys. So I ended up with, during 1 year, I think I had 5 or 6 Baddelys.
Okay.
And didn't have any thought about it. But when my friends came over and they saw these dolls, they didn't understand vintage or jeans.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Victor, did you have problem when you grew up? Are you playing with dolls now? What's the deal? And I was like, oh no. So I needed to buy a jacket. You know, I needed to get out from the dolls. So I bought a 60s Wrangler jacket, and then I was hooked. Then it started.
Okay. That.
So even back then, I was suffering.
Okay.
To be collecting denim is always about suffering.
Okay. So when you were university student, you of course lived in Sweden, right?
What's that?
You used to live in, so when you are a university student, you and Douglas and all other friends used to live in Sweden.
Yeah, me and Douglas is I think he's 5-6 years younger than me, but we are from the same town in Sweden. It's in the mid Sweden. And then I was older than him, so but then I moved to another city. It's one of the biggest university cities in Sweden. It's Uppsala.
Uppsala.
So I was Uppsala. So I was studying there.
Okay.
4 years.
4 years. Okay. So your like denim hunting life started from eBay then, like online jeans hunting. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So.
And also, as I told you, I was the first item I bought. I was suffering, and the last thing I was finding in the desert, like couple of years ago, I was suffering. So collecting denim is all about suffering.
Okay.
It's pain.
Okay. なんか、まあ学生の時はバディリー行くために、ケチャップだけのパスタで飯食って、で大人になっても、そのネバダのデザートに行ってクソ危険な思いしてヴィンテージゲットして、なんかヴィンテージを集めるライフは苦しみしかない。
なるほどね。そうか。さっきデザートって出たけど、じゃあなぜそこまで行こうと思ったかっていうのを聞きたいよね。
So like you started to love the jeans and vintage when you were a university student, and you started collecting all those vintage pieces or body leaf on eBay first, and then what made you actually go to the US, go to the Nevada or some desert or some old mines? What was the big transition of your like gene hunting life, like from eBay to like finally going into old mines? That's like an extreme process, right? So what made you move towards that like extreme, like difficult and suffering like road?
I think it's 2 things. It's about curiosity and a little piece of luck. Yeah, I think, as I told you before, studying at the university is all about searching for information, and asking questions. And I brought that into my vintage denim collecting. For me, it has always, I will say, always more. For me, it's more important to know the story behind the garment. Not so much about the manufacturer, or is this a Levi's, or is it A.B. Elfelt or Big Smith? That's interesting in one way, but for me, it's more interesting who was the guy or woman, mostly guys, who was actually wearing this. Who was he? What did he do?
Okay.
And for me, almost in the beginning, when I started to buy stuff on eBay, I asked, after the auction I won it, I asked the seller, do you know anything about this item? Do you know anything about the owner? And I will say 30 times it was no. I found it on the Etsy, or no, I on a thrift store. But 1 in 30, yes, it's my grandfather. He used this when he had a big farm in the United States, and he was growing potatoes, and you get a life story, and they have pictures of it. And when I get that garment, I could see pictures of this guy in the fields of it's so much more valuable to me. So I always ask those questions. So one day at my study room in Uppsala, with all those Buddy Lee dolls on my desk, I found something really old. I could see, like, this is old. This must be 1800s. And it was only scrap. It was kind of the Amoskeg scrap I gave you guys. So I bought that and asked the same question. What is this? And the thing is, we got a short question, a short answer. It's like, I'm digging in the desert for jeans.
So
that's about it.
Was the jeans hunter going into mines and
So I was quite young then and curious, and I didn't understand at all. Digging for jeans, and I don't get it. So asked again, what do you mean? Well, I'm digging for jeans in the desert. Do you guys want to come? Do you guys want to come?
He even asked that to you, like, do you guys?
No, he asked me and my friends if we want to come over. So me and Douglas and Hampus, we were flying over. We didn't know anything about who is this guy. So at the border control, I was so nervous, and I remember this really well. In the border control, so what's your purpose in the United States? I'm gonna dig jeans in the desert. And it was like, no, what I'm saying. No. What? What do you mean by that? Oh, no. Oh, okay. So who are you gonna meet? Are you by yourself? No, I'm gonna meet a friend there. Okay, and who is he? Have you spoke to him? No, I never spoke to him. That's only email. Oh no. Okay. Do you know how he looked like? Shit, I don't know how he looked like. So I was like, they will never let me into the United States now. But remember, I was the last man standing in the border control, but he let me in.
So, and 3 of you guys actually, took a flight and visited the guy in the U.S., like Douglas, Hugh, and Hampus. So, and we kind of went out to the desert right away. So I did so many trips in the desert with my friend Hampus and Douglas. They made this like 2 times, I think, and then they started the store. They focused on their Second Sunrise store. And I were still on that path on the vintage denims. I was still going. So today we are really, really good friends, and I'm going 1-2 times a year. I've been doing this for 12, 14 years, something like that. Okay. Maybe a short translation for him. 大体分かったっすけど。
まあでも聞きたい。い
やなんかなんでその eBay からそっちに行ったかで eBay でその後もいろんな商品買って、でビクターはその服が誰が作ったのとか、どんな工場で作られてたの、どんなブランドがあったのっていうことにあんまり興味がなく て、それを実際に着てた人がどんな人だったんだろうっていうことに、より興味を持ったんですって。だから eBay で古そうな珍しいの見つけたらいつも、この元のオーナーはどんな人でどんな仕事をしてるのかっていうのを毎回聞いてたんですって。
じゃあ、ある意味俺と対局だ。
そうかもしれないですね。で、30人聞いても1人も知らないよ。けど30人のうち1人だけ、それ知って、それは僕のひいおじいちゃんがポテト農園でファーミングしてるときに着てたジャケットなんだっていう人が出てきて、
それは出品者のね、俺はビクターのおじいちゃんが聞き取ってたからね、危なかったね。
で、そんな歴史がこんな風に詰まってるんだっていうのに気づいて、でその後、1800年代のアモス・ケイグであろう生地のスクラップを売ってる人がいたんですよね。でその人にそれはどんな服だったの、どんなオーナーが着てたのっていうのを聞いたら、俺は、それは分からんけど、こういうものを実際に彫ってんだと。で、お前もやるか。
なるほどね。
そういう、だからジーンズハンターから直接買って、それで若いビクターとダグラスとハンパスっていう3人はいきなりもう飛行機のチケット取って、そいつに会いに行って、ジーンズハンティングを始めたらしいです。
グーニーズみたいな話だね。なるほどね。一つ面白いのは、職業病だろうけど、俺は古着を見たときに、どんなミシンで縫ってんのかなとか、どんな工場で縫ってんのかなとか、どんな織りなんだろうっていうのを想像してたんだけど、同じ一つの古着を見ても、ビクターと俺とで、想像の思い浮かべてる絵というのが違うんだなって面白かったね。
Okay. So he now understands your story, and what was interesting for him about your story was that, what was most interesting for you was who was the owner, who used to wear this vintage jacket, and that kind of like the history of the person, right? That was kind of what made you interested in about the vintage. But his approach was a little bit different. He always, when he was a kid, he was already, liking very much any vintage jeans stuff. So he always, check out, how the stitch work is going, and the thread, thread, thread thickness is, very thick one is used on the, back lap seam, but if you look at the other parts of the jeans, this part of the jeans are sewn with a narrow thread and the color is different. So he always looked at the construction side of the things. So then maybe he eventually made TCB. So the what was interesting about the vintage jeans for him was the construction, and for you it was the the owners who actually wore them. It's a different, but it's kind of interesting. Yeah,
I think it's to know about the owner and the past and where the garment were in that context. It says a lot of the garment. You understand the garment in a more deeper way. So it's like you need to understand how they lived to understand the garment. And of course, I think we are on two sides, and that's why this is a really great, perfect match. I think this collaboration is
right.
Perfect.
Yes, perfect match. Yes. そうだからビクターも初めはそのものづくりの方で、ビクターはその人が当時着てた、ポケットが位置が下がってた服はなんで必要だったんだろう、人とかなんか文化の面に引き寄せられたみたいですけど、違う側面を持ってる同士が今ビクターズプロジェクトを今してるわけで、いいマッチだね。
本当だね。いや俺もそう思った。なんか同じよりもなんかこの一つのものに違う角度で見てたもの同士が今ね重なったっていうのがすごい面白いなと思ってね。
Yeah, so we are, looking at the vintage jeans from a different angle, but our, combination must be good because he has a different opinion about vintage jeans, and you has, different opinions about vintage jeans as well. So when it matches, you know, we can make great products.
ロマンティック。
Okay.
Romantic.
Yeah.